third corner. It's a very tight corner, and you guys can see I'm so close to Gasly. I just can't get to the guy. So we go up the inside here of Gasly, but we dummy him for the we went to the inside to have the outside for that corner, but dummy him and go to the inside. Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. We're back on F1 2020, back in the It's Turbo Boosted Racing team. We're back in my team, guys, and it is time for the Spanish Grand Prix. Now, heading into this episode, guys, you guys obviously know we have been on a roll this season so far. At this stage, spoiler alert if you haven't checked out the previous videos, because, so you've got 3 seconds to click off. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here comes the spoiler. By the way, like the video. I know you want to. Just do it. Thank you very much. We are basically undefeated this season so far. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't expect it to go this good for this season. I honestly thought that we were going to be a solid midfield car. And I even the team and the team surprised me, and I even surprised myself. So there's a lot that still waits for us in these coming races. But first, now we have to set our focus on the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Looking at the championships, we are leading the way from Mercedes in the constructors on 120 points over 89. Red Bull, Renault, and McLaren they're not there yet, but it's basically a battle between ourselves and Mercedes. And then in the drivers' championship, I've almost got double the points of my closest rival, Valtteri Bottas, and we're not even going to talk about Lewis Hamilton, but Daniel Ricciardo has also been quite consistent this season, and he can just as well be a championship contender if Renault give him a proper car to keep fighting with. But heading in towards the upgrades for this episode, guys, there's a lot of things that I looked at, but you guys can see I do not have a lot of resource points at this very moment. I don't really have enough to buy anything, so I think heading into Spain, except for durability, that might not be a bad shout. Let's think about it. No, I can see that we did not do that. But yeah, so you can see I'd rather just save up the resource points and heading into the next episode do a few more upgrades. So you guys can see we are now busy looking at upgrading a facility. Our powertrain and chassis facilities are really looking good. So it's either going to be at the personnel facility or the aerodynamics facility. But obviously, guys, Albon has been a really good teammate so far this season, and I really want to get Albon's stats boosted even more. So I'm really looking at doing a personnel upgrade pretty soon, but I held back a little bit for this episode. We'll see what happens the next episode. But you guys can see it just quickly doing our activities just before the Spanish Grand Prix. Not a lot of time to wait between Grand Prix, really. So we are very quickly heading towards the Spanish GP. Now, heading into this weekend, guys, once again, Spain has been a track where I usually go really well at. It's a track that I enjoy driving. So we'll have to see what happens this weekend. But also, eventually, we are going to have a reality check, because this isn't the quickest car on the grid. Yes, we are undefeated so far this season, but this still isn't the fastest car on the grid. I can tell you guys that now. So and Spain is a track where the AI are really good. They're not overpowered, but they are really good at Barcelona. So we'll have to see what happens. You guys can see I just basically stepped on my own words. I said I will wait to the next episode to upgrade the personnel center, the fitness center of the personnel facility, and I just went like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it now. So Albon's stats will be boosted even more, and as you guys can see, we've got a wet qualifying. And I'm already not good in qualifying, and now the game decides, okay, it's time to rain. So, we've got a little bit of a problem, but heading in towards this episode, guys, look how close the field is in the performance index. You've got Mercedes leading the way from Racing Point P2, Red Bull P3, ourselves in P4, Ferrari P5, Renault P6, McLaren P7, and AlphaTauri P8. The top 8 teams are within 100 performance points of one another. That is absolutely insane. So this is going to be a very close fought battle in qualifying. You've got Alfa Romeo in P9, Haas P10, and Williams are still just nowhere in P10. I really feel bad for the Williams crew because they're working their heinies off, and Williams are just not going anywhere except staying at the back. So hopefully they have some sort of luck this weekend and maybe can score a point or two, because I think Williams really need the bank for Season 3. But yeah, guys, like I said in the previous career mode episode, I've got a surprise for you guys coming soon, so you guys need to stay tuned for that. But for now, we need to focus on the Spanish Grand Prix, and it's time for quali. What else? So let's go. Let's head straight to the Spanish Grand Prix qualifying. Yeah. So, it's time for qualifying. And guys, here in Q1, you guys can see it's really pouring down with rain. Now, you guys obviously know my strat's always in a wet qualifying. I overfuel the car to go out for a few laps in a row just so I can get used to the conditions and used to the car, how the car feels on track. Because the race is still going to be a dry race, and I kept my dry setup. So, I was willing to sacrifice I would say a better quali performance than just sacrifice my entire race, because obviously you guys know what I always say, points are awarded on Sunday, not Saturday. So we come across the line, it's P5, 1.1 seconds slower than Stroll, if I'm not mistaken. So here we go to the end of our second lap, and you can see I've not yet got the car up into max fuel mixture, it's only rich, but this was a very, very solid lap. We are a second up on our previous time. We go ahead of Raikkonen, 1/10 away from Stroll again. Why is Stroll like the yardstick? Coming towards the end of the next lap, and now it says up 9/10 on the Delta. Guys, I don't know why, but that was not what we went up on. Coming across the line, I think we went up by 2/10. Yes, 2.74 tenths, and we are in P9, sitting pretty in P9 between Stroll and Norris. But we come towards the end of the session, and we're all the way down in P18. How? That does not make sense to me. So we have to go out for one final run, but now luckily I felt that I was at least used to the conditions and used to the car's feeling. So we had a lot of work to do to get ourselves out of Q1 and into Q2. And you guys can see through the long right-hander, the car's rear end wants to overtake us, but we keep the car in a nice little bit of space. Heading towards that, we are starting the second sector through the first hairpin into the second one. This is probably my favorite corner on the entire track. I love this downhill left-handed hairpin. It feels phenomenal when you just hook up the car coming out of that corner. Into the left-right chicane. Very quick left-right chicane in the drive, but in the wet, not so much. It's a very tricky corner to navigate. Into the flat-out right-hander in the dry as we head on towards the back straight. It is not flat out in the wet, obviously. Now heading strong onto the brakes into the third sector. It says currently we are 9/10 up to make it through into Q2, so that is satisfying. But literally every single buddy except one of the Haas cars is on a lap. So we're going to have to be very careful what we do in this little bit of quali. But the timer is going to run out in 2-1-0. Qualifying is over. We head through the final chicane and through the final corner, and we are going to be in P... No. Tell me no! Crud. Guys, it's P... How is it P20? That does not make sense. Not at all. Albon is through into Q2. Oh, man, this is going to be a hard race. Guys, remember I talked about a reality check at the beginning of the episode? I think it just started.
Welcome along then to what promises to be another fascinating Spanish Grand Prix. A race which saw Max Verstappen win on his first ever appearance with the Red Bull team in 2016. This after the dramatic coming together of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg on the first lap. Will we see more moments for the scrapbook here today? The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Parker. No grid penalties, no mitigating circumstances, just a poor qualifying performance and a very disappointing start position for them today.
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and Vettel, Norris, Perez, Albon, and Max Verstappen. Kvyat, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Stroll, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Kevin Magnussen, Russell, Parker, Aitken, and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Obviously, that is the idea, Jeff, but it's not. It's going to be easier said than done, let's be deadly honest. So guys, everybody, because it was a wet qualifying, everybody is starting on the mediums. So basically, the only thing that I can try and do is go for the alternative strategy and go for the hards to the mediums. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bare bones race where there's going to be barely any overtaking. So that is going to be my idea. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, the wet qualifying has really thrown a span in the works because the Spanish Grand Prix usually is a very exciting race, but qualifying being wet and everybody having free tire choice sucks a bit. In any case, we're going from the hards to the mediums. It's a 10th slower strategy, so that is literally being made up by anything. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that's the only way I can see this race going well, unless we've got a butt ton of safety cars, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are not yet, and you know what to do. Let's jam together on the warm-up lap. Oh yeah.
It's incredible. You could see unbelievable. You can see it's incredible. You could see unbelievable.
Guys, are you guys ready for the Spanish Grand Prix from P20 on the grid? We've got Ricciardo and Bottas on the front row, 5 red lights, and it's go, go, go for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's a beautiful start there from Valtteri Bottas. You've got the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton side by side on the second row, with the Red Bull of Max Verstappen snooping in the back there. Bottas had a beautiful start. He leads the way for the Spanish Grand Prix. Ricciardo is now in P2 fighting with Hamilton, but I think he's going to keep it. Yes, he does. Hamilton P3, Charles P4. You can see my teammate Alexander Albon is actually fighting with Carlos Sainz in the Red Bull, but it's been a beautiful start. Who actually is going side by side with the 2021 Red Bull driver Sergio Perez, but in in this very alternate universe, Sergio Perez is driving for Racing Point. Side by side for Albon and Perez. Here we go. Who's got to get the move done heading into the next corner? Albon, you look very snazzy in that beautiful purple and white car of ours. But Albon, does he get the move done on Perez? Yes, he does. And that is Alexander Albon up a position. Beautiful there from the Albonator. But you can see Bottas is really leading the way, and he's got quite a significant gap already. Bottas is really on the roll on my game in general. But here we go. You can see a beautiful start here from us. We are boxed in by the two Haas cars, really nowhere to go. So I opt for the outside, and then I'm like, no, not happening. Go to the inside. We dive bomb the two Haas cars as well as the Alfa Romeo of, who is that? Is that George Russell? No, that is not Russell. I'm not sure who that is. In any case, we get overtaken by the second Haas car again. So we are sandwiched in between the two Haases. And here we go into the corner around the outside. Will these hard tires be able to help us? No, they won't. The Haas gets back up our inside. But we have the inside for the next corner as we go for a dive bomb. And we call ourselves Dive Bomb and McGee. But here we go. We are right behind. Who is this? That is Raikkonen. We are right behind Raikkonen. In the Alfa Romeo, so it's going swell here for us. Not really. We had to. I think we needed a better start than we did, but it's not the end of the world. Right behind Kimi Raikkonen. Will we go for a dive up the inside? Obviously we will, because everybody is bunched up, and we are looking at Lance Stroll and the second Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi fighting ahead of us as they are going side by side into the third sector. It's very close between those two, and you can see I'm trying to get a nose in there, but there's not really much we can do, and I have to slot in behind Giovinazzi, who loses a position to Stroll. I think actually Gio was the one trying to make the move, so Stroll just defended well. But coming out of the final corner here, you guys can see it is very close, and now we are in the slipstream of Antonio Giovinazzi. ERS is active, and we are going to try and go for a move into the first corner. But thank you, Codemasters, for giving us an absolutely terrible camera angle. We go for the dive on the inside, we get the move done, but this needs a replay because we couldn't see anything of that move. Here we go, on board with Antonio Giovinazzi on the outside camera of his car. Look at that beautiful inside. Gio has a small lockup, which just makes this move a little bit easier. But that is us now up into, I think it's P15 or P14. It's actually P16. Ouch. That was not fun to say. But we now chase after the Canadian Lance Stroll. And you guys can see, like I said at the beginning of the video, looking at the performance chart, the teams are so close, the top 8 teams, it is actually insane. So everybody from Mercedes all the way down to basically AlphaTauri, we are all within like a few tenths of a second of each other. So it's overtaking at a track where it's already hard to overtake was going to be a tall question. But here we go, into the middle section. You guys see it's lap 3 now, and we are just trying to get close to Stroll because he is held up by the two AlphaTauris of Gasly. And who is the second? I know Kvyat has gone to McLaren. Oh, the second Alpine of Grosjean, of AlphaTauri. The second AlphaTauri of Grosjean. So here we go, onto the main straight. Now, Stroll is very strong in a straight line because he's got Mercedes power backing him up. But you guys can see I've got no answer for the guy. It is a very hard task to try and overtake this boy. So into the first corner, and you guys can see the hards are basically having the same performance as the mediums. So I'm actually very glad that I took the hards, because there's not a big grip disadvantage on the hards, especially on heavy fuel. It's as if the tires just handle the car's heavy weight better. So I really do like the hards here around Spain for the first stint. Later on in the race, as the car burns fuel and it gets lighter, they are absolutely terrible, just so by the way. But in any case, we are going once again here after Lance Stroll, but you guys can see I get close in the middle sector, but as soon as we need to get close where it matters, that car just says whee, and it's gone. It's 3/10 here. We head onto the brakes. You guys can see, oh, we're very late into the brakes. Stroll is actually startled by that. Why did you stop mid-corner? What? Okay, guys, I ran into the back of Stroll. Thank goodness I don't have front wing damage, but he basically stopped directly in the middle of the corner. Look at this. I'm around the outside. He's just like, okay, stop. And why? So I basically pushed myself to pass. I pushed to pass. But I mean, if you're gonna be silly, you're gonna have a silly consequence. But now we are right behind the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. And we head up through into the middle sector, and you guys can see I have a little bit of a very bad run through that corner, and I'm just trying to get onto the back of Gasly because Honda power v Honda power. I think our engine is a bit stronger than the AlphaTauri engine, so hopefully we can have him in the straight. But he does have DRS off of his teammate Grosjean. And you guys can see we're nearly heading into double-digit laps, and we are still not sniffing anything close to points. So, like I said, the reality check is starting to set in very, very deeply on this race. But you guys can see we are now very, very close to Pierre Gasly coming out of the final corner. Overtake mode engaged. We have DRS, and now we just need to keep our overtake button engaged all the way to the end of the straight. But guys, look at the straight line speed of the AlphaTauri. It's not a slow car in a straight line. This is where I decided, okay, I need to get him in the corners because my car is indeed a better car than the AlphaTauri, luckily. So through the third corner, it's a very tight corner, and you guys can see I'm so close to Gasly. I just can't get to the guy. So we go up the inside here of Gasly, but we dummy him for the we went to the inside to have the outside for that corner, but dummy him and go to the inside, and that is us now up into P14 as we now chase after his teammate Roman Grosjean in the second AlphaTauri. But this move is going to be a lot simpler. DRS and ERS on the main straight. He does not have DRS off of a car in front because Grosjean has been dropped by the cars in front. Up the inside, Grosjean gives me a bit of a fight there. But it's no use because now also their mediums are starting to cry in agony, and my hearts are like, yeah, you know what, we're still fine. Let's go, boy, let's go. So we get past Grosjean, and we've now got a 2.9 second, well, basically 3 second gap to bridge to the first of the two McLarens in Danny Kvyat, who's also basically in the world of his own. Ocon in P11 is latched onto a train, to the train of my teammate Perez, Verstappen, and Ocon is at the back of that little train. We come to lap 13, and you guys can see here, I'm gaining on Ocon, and the gap has come down now to 2.3 seconds, but I'm not catching him enough.
Just 1 lap of extra fuel target +1.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And guys, one thing that I also want to mention just quickly, I basically made peace at this stage of the race that the max we could get was about a P7, and that was if we finished ahead of our teammate.
Radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Thank you very much, Jeff. What I was busy saying is, I basically made peace with the fact that the max we could get was only finishing ahead of our teammate, but that was still going to be a very tall task. It was not just going to happen, all willy-nilly. So now we head towards the pit stops. I think this is now the start of lap 14, as basically everybody except me who started on the mediums are going to start pitting. You've got Ricciardo into the lane, as well as Hamilton. And you guys can see Ricciardo is really taking the fight to the two Mercedes cars. So even though Renault are basically the 6th quickest car on the performance index, they're running with Mercedes. That shows you guys how close this field is with the performance. It's actually insane. Vettel gets held up there by the two cars entering the pit lane. That is actually really sad for Vettel, as he is now jumped by Lando Norris thanks to that. So Vettel has got a little bit of work to do come at the end of this beautiful race. We now look on board with the race leader at the end of lap 15, the start of 16, as he is now going to pit for the hard tires, is Bottas. So into the lane he comes. It's a good stop from Mercedes, very beautiful stop, and he is out even before Leclerc gets into the pit lane. He's followed by Verstappen. No, actually, I think he was followed by Sainz there. But you can see my teammate is in, everybody is in, and we round the final corner now to resume, I think, in the lead or in P2. No, we're going to resume in P2 because there's Bottas all the way down the road. So we will resume in P2. We are ahead of Ricciardo and Hamilton, but I think as soon as they catch up to me, they're going to make quick work of me, because I am on old hard tires now, and they are on brand spanking new hard tires. These tires have gone a fair way, and they are starting to give me a little bit of trouble, but I can only pit with about 15, well, max 15, around about 14 to 13 laps to go of this race to use the medium to its best extent. But we look at Giovinazzi, the man who we had a little bit of a battle there at the end of the first lap, the start of lap 2, and something has gone wrong for the Alfa Romeo. There's no smoke coming from the car, so it's probably an electronic or a gearbox failure, but Giovinazzi is out of the Spanish Grand Prix, so it's not a good day for Alfa Romeo. Luckily, no safety car has been brought out, so we just keep the action running. We now look at Lance Stroll, who is actually still behind the two Alpha Tauris, trying to get a move on here to get them past, because I do think the Racing Point is stronger than the Alpha Tauris, but his car goes up in smoke, and it's... Oh, man. We've had two very quick successive retirements, and that has brought out the safety car in the nick of time, because now it's time for my pit stop, and as we enter the lane... I'm not going to lose as much time as I would, but I'm not going to gain much as well, guys, because the guys from behind were really starting to catch me very quickly. So there we go.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Obviously, Jeff, that is the idea. We will now be the car on the quickest tire on the track. We are in P11 behind Esteban Ocon and Max Verstappen. And guys, if I want to salvage anything from this race, I need to make my presence felt now. Otherwise, I am going to be very disappointed with a very bad race, if you guys catch my gif. So, here we go. Bottas is now backing the grid up as the safety car is making its way towards the pit lane. It's Bottas leading the way from Ricciardo P2, Hamilton P3, it's Vettel P4, no, it's Leclerc P4, then you've got Norris P5 and Vettel P6, so a very close top 6 here. Now it's Sainz in P5, how did he get up into P5? Oh wow, okay, well done from Sainz, he's having a good race. So Sainz in P5, there he goes, Bottas, he bolts, but now he's got the very, very talented Australian in the banana yellow Renault right behind him. It's green flag racing, but here comes Ricciardo. Will he go for a move on Bottas into the first corner? No, he decides against it. I think Ricciardo is just sussing out the situation, seeing what he can do next. And you guys can see just everybody heading into the first corner, but we are now chasing after the Renault of Esteban Ocon, and seeing as his teammate is battling the Mercedes, it's not going to be an easy move to make. And guys, basically when Bottas bolted, I was mid-corner, like halfway through the final corner, so I had a little bit of an oversteer moment, so I was under pressure from Perez, the only remaining racing points in this race. But yeah, oh, look at that around the outside of Esteban Ocon. Oh wow, that was a bit aggressive. We squeezed them off track there, but a beautiful move. Well, we initiated a beautiful move and ended it a bit dirty, but I didn't think he was that close alongside me, I'm going to be honest. But it's points, we're on P10, but now the max we can get today is P8, basically, because I'm not catching Vettel. I'm not. I mean, they're already starting to break away from Albon and Verstappen.
Stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Thank you, Jeff. So now we've actually got an opportunity to overtake Max Verstappen. But guys, one thing that I really quickly realized, Albon was driving better than me, and the Red Bull is a better car than our car. So the better Albon drove, the more Verstappen extended the gap to me, because I got into about 2 to 3 tenths of him, and as soon as he entered the middle sector, that very quick Red Bull was just like, okay, bye.
Some strange readings from a couple of the sensors. I don't think you need to be worried. It's just some bad data, so keep doing what you're doing, and I'll let you know if we notice any genuine problems.
Jeff, do you want me to burst out in a cold sweat of panic? I've never heard that team radio before, and now I'm worried. Why? Why now of all times are you gonna give me that message? Guys, hopefully something isn't wrong with the car, because I might just wee-wee myself if something goes wrong now. I've fought with everything I've had to get into the points, and I'm struggling to get any more. At this stage, I'm taking home 1 championship point. So this has been an absolutely horrendous reality check, because taking off, we have won the first 4 rounds of the championship, and actually the first 5 rounds of the championship, excuse me. No, the first 4 rounds. I'm busy being stupid. Sorry. The first 4 rounds. And
fuel remaining.
thank you, Jeff. Can you stop talking to me about fuel, please? And now we're basically going to take the number 1 digit where we finished first, and we're going to add a 0 behind the 1. Because, guys, I've got no answer for Verstappen or Albon. And by some other miracle, Albon is sticking with Vettel. So he's also got DRS. So Verstappen is just basically in one large DRS and slipstream train. So there's nothing I can do about Verstappen. This was so frustrating. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I said a very few bad words in the cockpit at this stage because the frustration was boiling out of me like boiling water. So you guys can imagine how I must felt. We start the penultimate lap of the race. Ocon is behind me, so I can't let up and just let Max go and just give up and just seal the deal for P10. Because Ocon is like, I smell you, I want the point because my teammate is battling for the win, But you guys can see I've got no answer for Verstappen or for Albon. And at this stage, my mediums were starting to go off again. So at this stage, I had to have the moves done by now, and I didn't. The only person I could overtake after the safety car was bloody Esteban Ocon. But we now start the final lap of the Spanish Grand Prix, and look at Daniel Ricciardo around the outside of the fin, and he takes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix as we start the final lap of this race. He's been pressurizing Mercedes this entire race, and he has waited till literally the white flag lap to pounce. I mean, Ricciardo, jeez man. Okay, so guys, Ricciardo has taken the lead, and now Bottas is under pressure from his teammate Hamilton. Does Bottas have a problem? Because Ricciardo is already starting to stretch away quite significantly. We have to keep an eye on that battle. But you guys can see I'm still in P10. Nothing has changed there. But oh my word, what an absolutely sensational move from Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, I did not expect that. I thought he was a solid pick for second, but Bottas was gonna win. And Ricciardo just like, no. I will be the winner. I am the superior one for this race. So Ricciardo's taken the lead, and I doubt that Bottas has overtaken him. Nope, he has not. So Ricciardo is going to win the Spanish Grand Prix, followed by Bottas in P2, Hamilton P3. And I actually don't want to talk about ourselves, but what else is there to do, guys? It's a very harsh reality check as we come home in P10 for the Spanish Grand Prix.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Parker increases their championship lead. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Parker. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Our championship leaders retain their position, but their lead is shrinking. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Guys, that was honestly shocking. After the hype we've started this season with, reality has come and just slapped us in the face. I do not know what happened there. I do not want to know what happened there. But that was a performance I am not really proud of. But guys, I did the best I could. The car just didn't have pace. I mean, Albon was stuck in P8. Albon couldn't go further, well, more to the front. So it's clear that is where our car's pace was. And I got the car to where we were sitting pace-wise. So it's not really a bad weekend. But coming from where we were from the first race to now, that was a bit shocking and a bit sad to see. But we still lead the Drivers' Championship now by 33 points over Ricciardo, as he is now on 70, actually tied with Bottas. So it's a three-way fight for the championship at this stage. And constructors-wise, Mercedes have basically closed down the gap to none, because the gap between ourselves and Mercedes are 3 points. And if Ocon can start supporting Ricciardo, Renault can really quickly start getting into this constructors fight. So this is still long from over. Even the two Ferrari drivers are tied on points. Look at Vettel and Leclerc, both sitting on 16 points and P9 and P10. That's actually very funny. The shocker to me is Roman Grosjean, who came third in the first race of the season, has not yet scored points again. He's still sitting on the original 15 points he got at Bahrain. That is a shocker. That is an absolute shocker. But guys, what more is there to say about this race? It just didn't work out for us. Terrible qualifying. Don't know how I took more than a second off of my time and I still ended up in P20. That was just major track evolution. So I'm not gonna lie, not a performance not a race I want to remember, but it's one that we can learn from, and that is the main thing. We are going to take this race and learn from it as much as we possibly can. But guys, that has been this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Before you go, make sure to drop a like down below on the video if you haven't done it yet so far. It really helps me out, guys. A like is a very big thank you to me, and from my side to you, thank you very much for doing that. While you're down there, go check out the links in the description down below. Mainly go check out my second YouTube channel, iiTzAssassins Watch Gaming, guys. That is a big one. It's a non-racing channel, so if you like other games as well, make sure to go check it out. Also check out my South African gaming clan, Falcon Gaming. All their social media links are in the description down below, as well as while you're checking out social medias, check me out on social media. Everything from freaking Instagram to TikTok is down there, guys, so go check it out. If you want to see the teasers for my F1 content, you need to follow me on social media, because all my teasers get released on social media. And finally, guys, if you are new to the channel and this is your first time viewing Turbo Fox races and you are not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below, and don't forget to click that bell and turn it on to have your notifications turned on to never miss a future video. I mean, guys, look at it. We've got F1 2020 My Team, we've got F1 2020 Career Mode, we've got F2 2020, we've got Wreckfest, we've got Need for Speed, we've even got bloody podcasts about real life F1. You're gonna be happy. I mean, it's just a fact. You're going to be happy here on Turbo Fox Races. And guys, to be deadly honest, I would love to hit 250 subscribers at the end of the year, so please help me with that. If you want to share the video, I would highly appreciate it. If you share the video, I will give you a shout out in a future one. But guys, that's been the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. You guys are an awesome audience. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Cheers!